Hi, everyone. If you're applying for the Australia Award scholarships, you might want to watch this video to help you avoid the 10 common mistakes that I have gathered over the past 10 years. So I hope you can find these mistakes and fix them first before you submit your application. Hi, I'm Bea, and I am an AAS alumna. I help applicants transform their supporting statements from confusing to compelling by refining their message and avoiding common pitfalls. But please keep in mind that the questions in this video are based on the 2025 application for Indonesian citizens. So if you're not Indonesian, your application form and questions might look a little different. Even so, I hope the tips in this video will still help you. I'll go deeper into each question in the next videos, but I won't have enough time to make another video before the deadline tomorrow. So the next videos will be uploaded later to help you prepare for next year. All right, let's dive in. The first question is, why did you choose your proposed course and institution? Please include information on efforts you have undertaken so far to obtain information on your study option. So here are the common mistakes. First is sounding like a course description or brochure. Don't just copy the words from the university website and paste them into your essay without any modifications. It's not enough to just emphasize the university or program's advantages and models offered without linking these points to your needs, your future role and contributions, and the needs of your workplace, field, industry, sector, area that you live in, and or country that you live in. You also need to clearly state or explain how the universities of your choice are different from other universities and therefore are the best fit for you. And lastly, you need to specify the efforts you have undertaken so far to obtain information on your study options. I hope you don't make these mistakes and you can quickly modify your essay so that your answer truly answers the question and includes all of these points. Now let's move on to the second question. What impact do you believe this study will have on your career, life, and community? The common mistake is omitting one or more areas or not explaining all three. This may be obvious because the question clearly states all three, not or, right? It's not career or life or community, but it's all three with an and. So you need to highlight the impact on all of these, your career growth, your personal life, and the broader community that you live in or Indonesia in general. But you also have to be specific when you talk about the impacts and the skills and knowledge that you hope to gain. I'll give you a bad example. My proposed studies will impact my career in many ways. That's way too general. Well, you can use this as the topic sentence if there's enough space, but you still need to name the specific skills, knowledge, and impacts, and the changes in mindset and attitude, if you can think of any, that you'll gain from your studies. Like in the second example, the knowledge and skills I will gain from the second language acquisition and methodology and language teaching modules will enable me to guide students more effectively as I will be able to quickly make well-informed decisions suiting their specific conditions, which I hope will accelerate their progress. See, that's specific. You state a model or two, what skills or knowledge you hope to gain from there, and the impact on your career and indirectly on the broader community. Well, it doesn't always have to be like that. It doesn't always have to link to the broader community. It can just stop at your career or your personal life. But you still need to include one or two impacts on the broader community or your country. Now, on to the third question. How have you contributed to solving a challenge or implementing change or reform in the context of one of the AAI or Australia Awards Indonesia priority development areas? Be specific and include what aspects of your leadership, knowledge, skills, and practice that you consider to be well established and effective, and which people or organizations you worked with to solve the problem, and what creative methods were used, if there are any. The common mistake is not detailing your skills, creativity, methods, and leadership that you exercised for that problem or that case while you describe or after you describe what the problem was and what you did. Another mistake is not focusing on yourself and talking more about your team, not about yourself or what you did. I'll give an example. So let's look at this draft or paragraph here. In 2010, I was inclined to aid final year students at the School of Management who were struggling to achieve at least 525 on the TOEFL so as to graduate. After discussing with the school, I agreed to set up a TOEFL preparation initially open for management students. I then gathered peers interested in and capable of becoming volunteer tutors. Besides being a tutor, I was appointed as the coordinator. We launched the course, and final year students and other students alike instantly enrolled. And the course ran successfully over the term, with the team being committed and the senior students finally achieving their goals, while 50 students had the opportunity to practice and improve their general English proficiency. My question is, what's wrong with this draft? You can pause this video and take a minute to analyze the paragraph and think about what needs to be improved. If you're ready, let's look at the modified or improved paragraph. So, after the description of the problem and what I did and what happened or what the results were, I added my answer to the question about my leadership, skills, creativity, and other things. For example, leading with empathy and assertiveness by showing appreciation toward my co-tutors and also providing support where possible was one of the factors I think enabled me to maintain the team and conduct a feasible course, in addition to harnessing each tutor's strengths and taking advantage of my time management, organizational, and communication skills. So the scholarship committee can clearly see what you're capable of, not just what the problem or challenge is about. Right? Let's move on. The fourth question is, please give up to three practical and realistic examples of how you intend to use the knowledge, skills, and connections you will gain from your scholarship. These possible tasks can be personal and or professional. Let's look at the common mistakes that I found so far. Well, there's only one for now, which is talking about your future roles or jobs only instead of the practical and realistic tasks that the question requires you to. It's fine to talk about any role or job, but the emphasis needs to be about the tasks that you plan to do and you have to be specific. Here's a bad example. First, I intend to continue teaching English for various purposes, whether general, business, academic, or specific. I mean, that's fine. You can say that, but there's no concrete or practical realistic task there. So you need to expand this statement by including the task and detailing it. For example, first, I intend to continue teaching and to create innovative and engaging lessons, materials, and courses for various purposes, particularly academic purposes, designed to suit different learners, which I hope can lead to my contributing to the Indonesian national school curriculum in the long run. You don't have to include that last statement about the impact or contribution, but you have to be clear on that practical and realistic task. And you need to include up to three. So at least one. But if it's one, then you need to be very detailed because you have a limit of 2,000 characters, which is quite a lot. You can include around 200 or 250 words. So it's best to include at least two, up to three tasks. And here's the last question. List any possible constraints you think may prevent you from achieving the above tasks, the ones that you talked about in question 4. So the common mistake is talking about constraints that are not related to those 3 tasks in question 4. For example, you talk about constraints that you might encounter during your studies. For example, I am concerned that I may struggle during my studies since I will be studying in a foreign country. No, that doesn't answer this question. It has to be related to the 3 tasks that you plan to do. For example, you plan to establish a foundation or an organization. And so you can say something like, the first potential constraint is lack of funding, since there is usually a major upfront cost required to establish a foundation or an organization. Okay, I hope that helps. And here's a bonus. So, about the 2,000 character limit per question, this means that each letter, punctuation mark, number, space, and symbol is counted as one character. And it's not 2,000 words, but characters. So that means it could be around 200 to 250 words. So you need to be efficient. Don't use long words to describe or to give your answer. And you have to be effective. Don't forget to answer the question, to include all of the elements required by the question. And you also need to check the character count by typing your answers into the application form regularly. Or you can use the word count or character count tool in Microsoft Word or Google Doc and then make adjustments or revisions where necessary. And then after you paste your answers into the application form, don't forget to check the last sentence of your answer to each question. You have to check whether there is a full stop, or worse, some letters or words get cut off. This is because the system automatically truncates excessive characters if your answer goes over the 2,000 character limit. Okay, so that is all from me. Thank you so much for watching. And if you think this video was helpful, please give a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Share this video to your friends and family, and leave a comment below. Thank you again so much for watching, and I wish you all the best. See you in the next video.